Hi, my name is Ayo, and I'll take us through an app I developed using Vue.js and Sales.js. I have a repo here on Bitbucket, and you can check it out. And the app is hosted on Heroku, and the app is using the Heroku Postgres database engine as database. So first thing, I'll take us through the app itself, then I'll take us through the code. So it is a simple app whereby you can register and sign in and create or impute your hobbies and just store them there. That's what the app does. Then at the end of the day, you can browse through and you can see other people's hobbies on the list. So the first thing, you sign in or you register as a user. You put your email address, and you put your password, you put your phone number too, a valid phone number, because once you create a hobby, an SMS notification will be rendered and you'll be notified through an email too. So let's register. Done. And impute your username and impute your password. Login, and this is the home page. On the home page, we have some buttons here. We have the home page. This is just navigation to the home page. The browse shows you the list of users and their hobbies. And we have the home that takes us back to the home. We have the view and add hobbies. These buttons just to view and add more hobbies. We have the add hobby, etc. So the view I just showed you, the add hobby, and we have the sign out. Once we sign out, this nav bar will change back to register and sign in, and each user is authenticated for 8 minutes. So after 8 minutes, you have to relog in. You'll be prompted and you have to relog in. So let's add a hobby. Once you click the add hobby, you'll be notified an email and SMS mobile through the number you supplied. So you have the view. This is the view for all the hobbies, and you can go to browse and see the hobbies you've just created. So you can edit. You want to remove or change or do anything. Submit. Here you are. And then you can delete if you choose to. You've deleted your hobby, and if you go back to browse, your hobby is no longer there. So that's how the app works. Just a simple app, nothing special. Okay, now I'll take us through the code. Inside the root directory of the code, we have the client folder and we have the server folder. The client folder is responsible for the view, and the client folder is responsible for the view, like I said. And we have the server, and the client is Vue.js. That's the framework we're using for the client side, Vue.js. Then we have the server, which is the Sales.js. So I'll take us through the client side first, then from there we progress. We have the build, we have all these folders on, we have some of these folders on the client side. We have the build, we have the configure, and we have the dist. This dist only comes up when you are developing, after you're done building for production environment. We have the node modules, which is responsible for package manager and the dependencies. We have the source, the component, etc. And the component, we have each component is responsible for the view, and we have the routes, the router. The router is responsible for the routes themselves. Browse, view, add, sign out on. We have the services. The services is responsible for the API calls. API calls, I'm using Access to make an API call to the backend. We have the store, responsible for the state of the app. If the content is changed on the view, on the component, on the view component, and you want the browse component to know about it, I'm using my states to manage that. And the states uses the Vux services, and we have the main.js. The main.js is responsible for the brain of the app, and the app.js is where all the other component lives. Okay, we have the HTML, where the app view is rendered, and we have the packages.json, where our dependencies are stored and some scripts are run. Okay, now we take a look at component, register component, using the two-way data binding. I am passing the data of my users through the module two-way data binding into the properties I've defined in my data function. Then we have the button. Once they click the button, the register button, an event is emitted, and this event is called, this method is called the registered method. Once the register method is called, the register method sends the credentials to the sales.js, and this is done through my service, authentication service, which I imported over here. And you can take a look at the authentication service. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at the API.js. The API I'm using is Access, like I said, to create a bridge between my client side and my server side when making API calls. Okay, and this is the authentication service with the register method. I'm just calling a post my data, and we have the login too if users wants to log in. Okay, back to the register, and once a request has been made and it's successful, the user is rerouted to the sign-in page using the router. Okay, and in case there's an error in any form, the error is lodged to the view using this over here. Error is lodged here. Okay, now the sign-in page, is similar to the register page. Apologies, I should have explained that. Okay, it's similar to the sign-in page, and I'm using two data binder here too. And on the click button, the click event, on the click event, the user the authentication process takes place, and the server side maps the password and the email to a user, and if there is a user, access will be granted, and if not, error will be displayed. Okay, we have the home component, just responsible for the landing page just saw some minutes back. I'm using the router link to create my route. Once they click on this button, once they click on this view Hobbies button, takes them to the Hobbies view. Okay. We have the header component, which is responsible for the master navigation, or yeah, the nav bar, master navigation at top of the page. However, this component is generalized throughout other components, meaning it shows on other components, and it shows on other component, and okay, and these are the methods and the functions that are called on any click event on this component. The functionality you saw earlier, whereby if I sign out something, okay, now I'm just showing the authentication. As you can see, if I click any other thing now, it will tell me I should kindly sign in season and as expired after 8 minutes. I'll say okay. Okay, then you see this change to register and sign in. So you can go and sign in and do any other thing you want. So the functionality behind the change of that is this right here. I have an if statement. If user is signed in, if user is signed in, show these guys. Else, you should show register and sign in buttons. So that's how it works. And if a user clicks sign out, all my states I've been managing, I set them back to null. The state I've been managing, I set them back to null. So okay, and if I click on the browse hobby, where is it? Okay, the browse hobby here. If I click on it, its function is executed. Same thing for the view hobby, everything is executed. Pretty much that's how it works. The add hobby component, the add hobby is just responsible for adding the hobbies, and everything is maintained and managed. Okay. There are a lot of things I haven't talked about still concerning the client side component, or the main points I have just made. For my store now, let me explain how the store works. It's the managing of the state of the app. We have the we have payoffs that manages the state of the app. We define a state, we define the mutation, and we define the actions. So the state is the present state of the app. The actions decide what's going to happen to the state using the mutation. So that's how it works. I see. Okay, the token is null at the beginning of the app, but once this action is called and all these parameters are being passed in, the mutation kicks place and sets the value of the token and other states. So that's how the state works. So that's pretty much it about the client side. Now about the server side. The server side using Sales.js. I have two controllers, the Hobbie controller and the user controller. The user controller is responsible for when the user logs in or is registering. And under the models, we have the Hobbie model and the user model. The user model consists of the email, password, username, phone number. And the Hobbie component comprises of the user ID, username, user email, and Hobbie. Now, user controller makes use of JSON Web Token to authenticate users. Okay, I set it to 8 minutes like I said. The user is authenticated, and these are the API calls that can be made on these controllers. We have the list. This list, however, is just to display the list of users. They are not used in the app itself. We have the register, which is the main thing. The register, it creates a new user using the model. And sorry about this, test 1, test 2, they're not supposed to be there. And we have the login. Once the user login, it fetches the request body, and it finds the one that matches it finds the username of all the users. From all the users, it finds the username to match, and if there is a username, if there is no reply on username, this error is sent back to the view. And if there is a match on username, it continues to the password. It checks if the password is correct, and if the password is not correct, this error message is logged, and the JSON Web Token is executed to get a token for the particular user. So that's pretty much how it works. Now, if you go to the route, I define the route for all. Define the route for the controllers over here. As you can see, you have a GET request, show the list of the users. We have a post to register, a post to login. That's for the user controller. Now over to the Hobbie controller. Okay, since the app sends a SMS once a Hobbie is created, I'm using the Twilio service to send my message. So the Twilio service is installed through npm. You install the Twilio service just like you install the JSON Web Token through npm, and you create an account with Twilio and put the number and everything on Twilio. You put your number for registration on Twilio, and you get your SDI number and the password, I believe, for Twilio. So the other thing here, right here, is a node mailer, which I used to send my email on creation is to send my emails on creation. Now the function for Twilio is it. This is how it works. Twilio creates a message, sends this to this number. The number is generated when the function is called. From is the number generated by Twilio and the body of the message. That's how Twilio works. Then for the node mailer, it's pretty much similar to how Twilio works. You just input your email and it does the rest. You select the service and you select your password and everything. So back to the controller itself, we have the add hobby API. The add hobby is when you want to add your hobby, and the first thing it does when a user is requesting to add a hobby is to verify the token generated when the user logged in. So it verifies if the token has expired or not. If not, the hobby is created, and if the token has expired, this response is sent back to the view and you are prompted to relog in. Okay, and once a user is created, the Twilio function is called. This Twilio function here is called here, where you put the phone number which is generated from the request body and the hobby just to add to the message. Same thing with the send email node mailer. For the view all hobbies, this view all hobby is the function or is the method, is the API that is called when you click on the browse. So it doesn't need any verification, anybody can just view user's hobby. Then view hobby by user is the one that it's called when you want to view as a user. When you want to view your hobby as a user, and the token is confirmed and your view is rendered if your token has not expired, if you're safe as a user. Same for the fetch edit hobby. You're going to edit your hobby. This is called when you want to update the edited hobby, and this is called when you want to delete the hobby. Okay, that's it. That's all for the hobby controller. Now I would take us through okay, my route, the route for the route for the hobby controller is it over here. Is that the route? Right. Okay. Now for integration between the Vue.js and the Sales.js, I had to build the file first. I build it on the client side now. Run npm run build, and this file will be generated. You see the index.html and the CSS files. All these files will be moved into the server folder in the asset folder. Okay, the asset folder. So the HTML is moved here, and the JavaScript is moved here. The CSS is moved here. And once all these are moved, the layout, which is responsible for the view on the Sales.js has its own view too, but that's if you want to use it. The layout generates the link to the JavaScript and CSS you've moved into the asset. So once it's generated, you're good to go, and you come to the home page if you choose to, and copy the generated script into the home page here. Then same with the CSS. Then this div id app, this is where your app will be rendered. Your Vue.js view will be rendered. The Vue.js app will be rendered. So Vue.js app will be rendered. That's how it works. Now for database migration, I made some configurations to allow for that. Under the config file, we have the data stores. I keep track of your database. You see the adapter, sales, Postgres, SQL, and the URL, which contains the password and the ID and everything that needs to connect to the database. So that's it, and that's pretty much everything about the app. Okay. I believe that's everything I have to say at the moment concerning this app. If you have any questions and if you need to review the code, it's available on Bitbucket. You can view the code. I know you can view the code there, and hopefully you understand it a lot better than I've explained it. Thank you so much for your time.